Hello, and thanks for joining us from our studios in Israel. I'm Aaron Porras, here with ILTV's Morning Briefing. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu finally met with United States President Donald Trump yesterday afternoon, but according to the Israeli leader, less than one-fourth of their meeting was devoted to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Netanyahu says the Trump administration hasn't yet showed him its much-anticipated peace plan, which White House officials claim they are close to finalizing. Right now, there's no timetable as to when the plan will be released to the public, and Netanyahu himself has not said whether or not he will support the emergence of a Palestinian state as part of it. The Israeli leader does say he supports the right to the Palestinians having the power of government as long as it doesn't threaten Israel. One topic apparently did not come up in conversation, and that's U.S. President's son-in-law and senior advisor Jared Kushner and his downgraded security clearance. Kushner is supposed to be a point man in the peace process, but his power seems to be slipping away. The issue of Iran did, of course, take center stage, and whether or not the White House will fix or nix the 2015 nuclear deal. There are just 60 days left until the Trump-imposed deadline to unilaterally make changes to the accord, an accord which Netanyahu vehemently opposes. The Israeli leader claims Trump wanted his advice and insights on the matter in their meeting. As Netanyahu continues his meetings in the United States, back in Israel, trouble in the coalition is brewing. An impasse over military draft legislation threatens to tear the government down, leading to early elections. In September, the High Court of Justice tossed out the Army exemption for Haredi men enrolled in Torah study, saying it undermined the idea of equality first before the law. Well, now, ultra-Orthodox parties seemingly led by Deputy Health Minister Yaakov Litzman, who heads the United Torah Judaism Party, are demanding the military exemptions for Torah study not only be reinstituted, but that Torah study also be recognized as a form of national service henceforth. If these demands are not met, Haredi parties in the coalition have threatened to vote down the 2019 budget, which would topple the coalition. Netanyahu, while speaking with Walla News, said, quote, "There's a clash here between the different parties that doesn't allow for a solution. I want to arrive at an agreement that will allow the government to finish its term. At the moment, I cannot announce that an agreement is within reach," end quote. In addition to Litzman's demands, Finance Minister Moshe Kahlon threatened to quit if the budget wasn't passed by next week. Defense Minister Lieberman says he'll not cave in to Haredi demands, and some speculate that Netanyahu actually wants to force elections to distract the public from ongoing corruption probes against him. A bill to slash funding to the Palestinian Authority has cleared yet another hurdle. 52 Knesset members voted in favor of the legislation, which is trying to stop the PA from paying out convicted terrorists and their families by deducting that money from the tax revenues that Israel transfers to the Palestinians every year. Today, the PLO gives monthly payments to all Palestinian prisoners jailed in Israel, no matter what the reason is for their incarceration. Money is also distributed to the families of so-called martyrs, a term that the Palestinians use to refer to anyone killed by an Israeli, even while carrying out an attack. In 2017, the Palestinian Authority allegedly paid out $198 million, a whopping 7% of its overall budget. Today, Israel transfers tens of millions of dollars to the Palestinian Authority every year, all in customs duties that are levied on goods destined for Palestinian markets that come through Israeli ports. The defense minister wants to withhold these tax revenues so that they can go towards compensating Israeli terror victims who cannot sue their attackers instead. The bill that would do this needs another 2 readings to become law, but right now only 10 Knesset members oppose it. The Defense Ministry has also offered up a softer version of the legislation, which would allow the government to freeze the PA's payments to terrorists and then leave the Security Cabinet with the final say. Critics of the bill are warning, however, that the bill would bankrupt the Palestinian Authority and lead to its collapse. In a shocking accusation, Tax Authority Director General Moshe Asher has now reported that thanks to Amendment 168 to the tax ordinance, nicknamed the Milchan Law, Israel has become one of the most generous tax havens on earth. When Amendment 168 was passed in 2008, it offered new immigrants and returning residents to Israel exemption from paying taxes on or even reporting foreign income for the next 10 years. In an interview with the Times of Israel, Asher argued that, quote, "What characterizes a tax haven is that A, one doesn't pay taxes, and B, there's an exemption from reporting one's income. In Israel, we have something extra. We have an expansive network of tax treaties with developed countries that a typical offshore tax haven does not have," end quote. Essentially then, someone taking advantage of this loophole, quote, "would pay no taxes abroad because of the tax treaties with Israel, and no taxes in Israel because of the laws here," end quote. Proponents of the law, who have helped deflect attacks against it over the years, argue that it in fact has brought great immigrant numbers to Israel, and that other countries like the UK and Italy have similar laws on the books. But Asher is adamant that this amendment does nothing but harm, and the police seem to agree. The amendment has been questioned often in connection to corruption probes surrounding Prime Minister Netanyahu. The Prime Minister is suspected of attempting to extend the Milchan law exemption from 10 to 20 years in return for expensive gifts. Netanyahu, who is currently in the U.S., has continuously denied any and all allegations against him. Police in the southern city of Eilat are now asking the public for any information to aid the search for 15-year-old girls Dana Koldova and Lior Malka. The two teens left their homes Sunday evening and have neither been seen nor heard from since then. According to the police, the two were probably together and are both approximately 1.6 meters tall, or 5'2", with brown eyes and hair. Cordova also reportedly had a nose ring, and Malka was last seen in black pants and a yellow-colored shirt. The police statement read, quote, "Anyone who knows anything about their whereabouts is requested to contact Israeli police by dialing 100 or to call the Eilat division at 08-636-2444. That's all for now. I'm Aaron Porras, and see you later with our main daily broadcast from Israel at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.